Student achievement through teacher evaluation. Presenters: Dr. Jane Corfenna, Dr. Karen Chapman, Mr. Michael Martyr. Evaluation Committee. Staff at McKeesport Area School District worked to create an evaluation process that culminates with a teacher showing evidence of student growth. District motto: Move, Engage, Assess drives components of the evaluation process. Members of the evaluation committee included Assistant Superintendent, Director of Federal Programs, District Technology Integrator, 2 board members, Principal, 9 teachers. Evaluation objectives: assign a central office administrator to each building. Create a district-wide informal observation form aligned to the teacher effectiveness model. Create a district-wide walkthrough and instructional round form. Creation of a teacher's personal academic goal. Use of an online software package to collect and analyze data from teacher walkthroughs. Move, Engage, Assess. Student engagement and discourse drives instruction through cooperative learning, formative assessment, critical thinking activities, performance activities, high-level questioning. Teacher is a facilitator in the classroom, not a lecturer. Move, Engage, Assess. Students drive instruction, not subject content. Formative assessment is an essential component of instruction achieved through individual whiteboards, ticket out the door, journaling, technology, questioning, targeted strategies. These targeted strategies are reflected the district's motto: Move, Engage, Assess. Using activators, bell ringers, etc. Setting the purpose for instruction. Modeling the task. Chunking the lesson. Scaffolding tasks. Differentiating to student needs. Adding rigor to each lesson. Use of collaborative groupings. Real-life connections. Targeted strategies, continued. Increasing student discourse techniques, i.e. turn and talks, reteaching, group tasks, group members report outs, etc. Formative and random assessment techniques, i.e. all student response systems, individual whiteboards, thumbs up/down, random reporter, popsicle stick drawing, etc. Teacher observation tools. Walkthrough. Instructional round. Formal observation. Informal observation. Teacher's personal academic goal. Walkthrough. Walkthrough is conducted 2 or 3 times each 9 weeks for each teacher. Observation is only 5 minutes in length. Observer looking for components of district motto: Move, Engage, Assess. Walkthrough is not evaluative. Walkthrough encompasses 4 domains: student engagement, teacher interaction, evidence of district-wide expectations, positive climate and teacher efficacy. Instructional rounds. District motto drives what is observed during an instructional round. Instructional rounds may consist of a principal, curriculum director, teachers, and/or central administrator. Instructional rounds last 20 minutes. There is a group discussion to discuss group members' observations. Instructional rounds. Teachers are encouraged to infuse specific targeted instructional strategies into their lesson design to increase active teacher engagement, active student engagement, instructional rigor, assessment for learning, the rollout of PIRS, turned teacher leaders. To begin the process of including peers, we turned to teacher leaders who had success and a comfort level with instructional rounds, IRs. Teachers district-wide agreed to allow their peers interview and reflect on their showcase lessons. Teachers were asked to conduct a model showcase lesson. Teachers permitted videotaping of their lesson to be placed on Teacher Compass for view by other staff members. Videos served as a means for professional development. The rollout of PIRS, a peer invitation system, was developed. We used an email distribution list specific to teachers' period plans. If the PIR lesson was period 4 at the high school, all teachers with plans in period 4 were invited. Building and district administrators were also invited. Forms were prepared in advance. PIR post-observation meeting agenda. PIR signature sheet, Act 48 purposes. PIR ground rules for reflection. PIR form to track participation. Incentives to participate in PIRS. For planning and performing a peer instructional round, PIR. The teacher was awarded a certificate of recognition signed by superintendent. The teacher was recognized on the district web page. For giving up a planned period to observe and reflect on a peer's lesson, the teacher was awarded half-hour Act 48 credit under professional development. Advertise a PIR. Emails of invitations. Invitation was sent 2 days prior to each PIR. Emails included the date, period, time, room number and reminded invitees about the Act 48 incentive for viewing and reflecting on a PIR. The email also gave the purpose of the PIR, to build a professional learning community around engaging and rigorous instructional strategies. A last-minute reminder email was sent the morning of each PIR. These encouraged last-minute drop-ins, post-observation reflection, and discussion. Each visiting teacher was given a copy of the peer instructional round form as they entered the showcase lesson. They were told they didn't need to use it, but could use it for reference. They were told that the form would drive the post-conference reflection, post-observation reflection and discussion. All visitors were reminded of the ground rules. Positive comments only. Identify where and when in the lesson targeted strategies were observed. Share strategies that were successes in their own classroom. Post-observation reflection and discussion. During the post-PIR reflection, the targeted instructional strategies are read from the PIR form and teachers identify if and when the strategies were viewed in the lesson. Teachers are encouraged to share strategies that have been effective for them in their lesson design and implementation. This facilitates professional growth, not only through the viewing of the lesson, but also through these discussion and reflection. Temporary employees, teachers with 1 to 3 years of teaching experience. Teacher will have 2 observations using the 426 observation rubric and evaluation system. Each observation will last a minimum of 35 minutes. A post-conference is held after each observation. Employee must attain an additional 24 credits at a university or IR. Following attainment of 24 credits and 6 satisfactory ratings, professional employee may apply for Level 2 certification through TIMS, www.state.par.us. Formal observations. Formal observation. Level 2 employees in years 3 to 6 receive a formal observation. Professional employees must receive a formal observation every 3 years. Career-level employees are observed using Parade's teacher effectiveness model for their formal observation. Through a differentiated model, teachers may select an informal observation between years of their required formal observations. Teacher effectiveness model. Principal/supervisor conducts classroom observations, including evidence that demonstrates behaviors associated with improving student achievement. Paradigm shift. Who collects/provides evidence? Both teacher and evaluator evaluation is not done to you, it is done with you and for you. Benefits of a framework for teaching. Common language. Similar vision for good teaching and how it can be improved. Greater validity and reliability in the teacher evaluation process. Changes in novice thinking. Opportunities for collaboration. Features of a framework for teaching. Generic, applies to all grade levels, content areas. Not a checklist. Evidence-based/reflective. Not prescriptive, tells the what of teaching, not how. Comprehensive, not just what we can see. Inclusive, novice to master teacher, teacher evaluation system. Project goal of parade. Pennsylvania has adopted Charlotte Danielson's framework for teaching as the overarching vision for effective instruction in the Commonwealth. The model focuses the complex activity of teaching by defining 4 domains of teaching responsibility. Domains: Danielson's framework for teaching, planning and preparation, classroom environment, instruction, professional responsibilities, teacher evaluation rubric. 4 domains, 22 components, 4 possible ratings for each component. Unsatisfactory, potential for harm. Progressing, needs improvement, inconsistent, novice. Proficient, competent. Distinguished, unusually excellent, no one lives here permanently in all components. Domain 1, planning and preparation. Demonstrating knowledge of content and pedagogy. Demonstrating knowledge of students. Setting instructional objectives. Demonstrating knowledge of resources. Designing coherent instruction. Designing student assessments. Component 1A, demonstrating knowledge of pedagogy. Teacher wrote a scholarly article. Lesson plan /structure content relevance. Teacher explanation of probable students' misconceptions. Teacher presented a workshop to faculty. Teacher explains the structure of discipline prior to lesson. Teacher tells observer how this lesson fits into the larger unit. Teacher states how this lesson connects to content standards. Domain 2, the classroom environment. Creating an environment of respect and rapport. Establishing a culture of learning. Managing classroom procedures. Managing student behavior. Organizing physical space. Rubric example 2A. Domain 3, instruction communicating with students. Using questioning and discussion techniques. Engaging students in learning. Using assessment in instruction. Demonstrating flexibility and responsiveness. Elements of instruction observed. Teacher answers student questions during class. Teacher adjusts the lesson midstream based on students' misconceptions. Teacher poses different levels of content questions during the lesson. Use of formative assessment during instruction. Student-led, cooperative instruction. Higher-order questioning utilized by teacher, not all recall in nature. Domain 4, professional responsibilities. Reflecting on teaching. Maintaining accurate records. Communicating with families. Participating in a professional community. Growing and developing professionally. Showing professionalism. Concluding about the lesson. Pre-observation, Domain 1 and 4. 2 days before, teacher provides evidence using lesson plan form. Teacher and evaluator discuss evidence provided. Evaluator collects additional evidence through questioning. During the observation, Domains 1, 2 and 3. Evaluator arrives early, walks the walls. Evidence collected during the lesson, avoid opinions. Preparing for post-observation, Domains 1, 2, 3 and 4. Evaluator provides teacher with evidence collected during the observation. Teacher self-assesses using highlighter and rubric and gives to evaluator. Evaluator assesses and marks all agreed upon, leaves areas of concern blank to discuss. Post-teaching collaborative assessment, Domains 1, 2, 3 and 4. Teacher and evaluator discuss agreed upon items. Evaluator invites teacher to discuss areas of disagreement. Teacher develops self-assessment summary. Pre-observation, Domain 1 and 4. 2 days before, teacher provides evidence using lesson plan form. Teacher and evaluator discuss evidence provided. Evaluator collects additional evidence through questioning. During the observation, Domains 1, 2 and 3. Evaluator arrives early, walks the walls. Evidence collected during the lesson, avoid opinions. Preparing for post-observation, Domains 1, 2, 3 and 4. Evaluator provides teacher with evidence collected during the observation. Teacher self-assesses using highlighter and rubric and gives to evaluator. Evaluator assesses and marks all agreed upon, leaves areas of concern blank to discuss. Post-teaching collaborative assessment, domains 1, 2, 3 and 4. Teacher and evaluator discuss agreed upon items. Evaluator invites teacher to discuss areas of disagreement. Teacher develops self-assessment summary. Where did your group mark the lesson at or above proficient? Where did your group mark below proficient? Wrap up and refer to 2 resources, flowchart on P3 and participant resources, and the teacher observation map of the process on P4 in participant resources. Make the key points about the lesson. In general, planning for this lesson, or the evidence we have of it, is not especially strong. Assessment was not planned for, objectives were not particularly specific. Overall, Domain 2 was a strength, with the exception of 2B. 2B, Culture for Learning, and 3C, Engaging Student in Learning are not strengths of this lesson, because the lesson relied on volunteers almost solely. If a person did not volunteer, he could have done nothing in the lesson except the 3 review division problems of the do now. Listening is not learning. The structure of the group activity allowed for one person to do all the learning. Most of the activity was at the lower end of Bloom's. 37. The pre-conference process. Teacher selects the day and time of the conference. Teacher receives the worksheet encompassing Domain 1 and 2 prior to the pre-conference. During the pre-conference, teacher will speak about the lesson to be observed, noting standards, instructional strategies to be used, etc. Administrator will work through Domain 1 at this time, planning and preparation, taking notes during the meeting. Some elements of Domain 4, professionalism, may be answered at this time. Formal observation is to last a minimum of 35 minutes. Administrator will take notes on what is observed in Domains 2, classroom environment, and Domain 3, instruction. Administrator's notes are to relate what is observed and cannot be subjective. All elements in Domain 2 and 3 will receive a rating of unsatisfactory, needs improvement, proficient, or distinguished. Types of observation evidence. Verbatim scripting of teacher or student comments. Could one person from each table collect materials? Descriptions of observed teacher or student behavior. The teacher stands by the door, greeting students as they enter. Numeric information about time, student participation, resource use, etc. 3 students of the 18 offer nearly all of the comments during discussion. An observed aspect of the environment. The assignment is on the board for students to do while roll is taken. 40. Following the observation, teacher will receive the teacher effectiveness rubric to self-assess their lesson observed. Teacher will have no more than 1 week to complete the rubric and return it to the administrator that observed him, her. Administrator will schedule a post-conference upon completion of the teacher's self-assessment. Purpose of the post-observation conference. To discuss the components of difference, not yet marked by observer. To elicit any evidence that still remains to be added about the lesson. To arrive at an assessment on the rubric for components of difference. To select and agree upon 2 areas of instruction that will be highlighted and looked for during the walkthrough. Observation will be placed in Teacher Compass. Teacher and administrator will sign the signature form for meeting attendance. 42. Formal walkthrough. A walkthrough utilizing the appropriate parade form will be conducted by the administrator. The walkthrough is unannounced. Only the 2 areas identified during the post-conference will be noted during the walkthrough. The walkthrough will last 15 minutes. The administrator will take notes and the walkthrough will be placed in Teacher Compass. Massed informal observation. Informal observation. Informal observation is unannounced. Observation is 15 minutes in length. Informal observations may be conducted on Level 2 professional employees after 6 years of service. Danielson's rubric are utilized in the informal observation. A summary is written of components seen during the observation. Observer looking for components of the district motto. Informal rubrics. Planning and preparation. Classroom environment. 8 elements. Classroom environment. 10 elements. Instruction. 14 elements. Professionalism. 7 elements. Informal observation. Teachers are evaluated in all 39 elements. Teachers receive a yes, was observed. No, was not observed. Nah, not applicable. Not applicable was included for those education professionals who may not teach in a classroom. Observation notes are included after each domain. Notes are to show what saw seen and not perceptions or opinions of the administrator. Discourse. What is a personal academic goal? What am I to assess? What happens if my students don't show growth? How much growth do students need to show? Will I receive an unsatisfactory rating? Teacher's academic goal. Goal must address a standard within the teacher's grade level and/or academic area. Goal is to be attainable and not all-encompassing. Goal is to be submitted to building administrator for approval. Every student who takes has that particular class with the teacher to be assessed. Example, all students who take gym. Example, all 8th grade students that take world language, rotated through 4 9-week grading periods. Teacher's academic goal. Teacher is to collect data by testing students on the academic goal chosen. Elementary teachers test class. Secondary teachers test every student of that course, class. First test given at the start of the school year. Same data collection tool used after May 15th. Teacher to submit data to building principal as evidence of student growth, regression. Teacher evaluation system. Teacher evaluation system. 50% teacher observation. 15% PSSA, keystone data. 15% teacher-specific data. Personal academic goal. Students receive pre-post test on a standard selected by the teacher. 20% elective data. Attendance data. Common assessments. Plato testing, Dibbles, etc. Teacher Compass. http://teachercompass.pearsoncom.com. Teacher Compass. Teacher Compass is an online program that houses all district observations, evaluations. Reports can be generated for individual teachers in the building. Videos for professional development are available to attach to teacher observations.